Gentlemen, start your engines.
Welcome back for more. There are games galore, so put your foot to the floor and drive through the retro door. Welcome back everybody, and thanks for stopping by. I just want to start this episode by saying a couple of thank yous. Just recently, in the past couple of 3 weeks, a couple of other YouTubers have given me a shout out, and I just want to say thanks. Really nice of you. Really appreciate it. Trying to get a little channel like mine a bit better now, and it's so grateful for you shouting me out. I should have said I'm talking about Time Warp James, Zone of Tat, and Eddie at Rollerxcore, and the king himself, Mr. Retro Bear, recently shouted me out. So again, just thanks very much, really appreciate it, and cheers. I'll put a link into all those channels in the description, but I'm sure if you're watching me, you're bound to be aware of them. But just in case you're not, check them all out because they're all great guys. We've got great channels, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. So back to today's video, and we're going to do a pickups video. And I've not been buying that much. I've mainly been looking in cash converters and charity shops and CX really recently in the past few weeks. So the bulk of this has come from there really, and it's all pretty cheap stuff, with a few exceptions. But I've got quite a few because I'd say they're all cheap. So I think I'll split it into 2 videos, and we'll go through half in this one and half in the next one. We've got a mixed bag of stuff. We've got PS3, PS 1, 2 and 3 actually. We've got OG Xbox and 360, and we've got Saturn and Dreamcast as well. So without further ado, let's crack on. First of all, I've done quite well in cash converters recently actually. Been in a couple where I must have just dropped lucky, and they've just had some people trade stuff in. So I've picked up Race Driver Grid, and like I say, all these PS3 and 360 ones are cheap. They're all complete in pretty nice condition as well. I'm sure I played this back in the day, but I can't remember what it's like. It must be alright, I'd have thought. And then I picked up Dirt 1. Now I was really disappointed with that. I think I had that back in the day, but it's either not aged well or my memory of it's wrong, because I didn't think much of that at all. Didn't think it looked good, and I didn't think it played good. So I also picked up Dirt 2. This was definitely better, but again, I wasn't mad keen on it. But I do need to try it a bit more. And then I've picked up Dirt 3 as well. I've not tried this one yet, so I can't say if that's any better or not. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. One of them is regarded as the best one, isn't it? I'm assuming it's that one, but I've not tried that. I got on that kick really after picking up the PS4, but that's like another story. I'll leave that for another video. I mean, I've been picking stuff up for PS4 and Xbox One, but I wasn't sure whether to include it in pickups really, because it's not retro at all obviously. But what do you think? Is anybody interested in seeing PS4 and Xbox One pickups? Just let me know. What do you think? Is it something you want to see, or shall I just leave it at the retro? Let me know please. Right, so we're on to 360 then, and I picked up Overlord 2. Now I've got this on the Wii, and it's really quite a fun game. I never knew there was a sequel. No, I've only found out recently, so I've not tried it yet. But if it's anything like the first one, really, funny, sort of comical entertaining game, I thought, on the Wii. So I mean, this should be a lot better, you'd have thought. So I'm looking forward to trying that one. I don't know if you can get the first one on the 360. I've not looked into that. Let me know if you can. Then I've got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Again, I've not tried this yet. But like I say, I dropped on all these in cash converters. And then I've got another one, Race Pro. Now, I've not seen this one before. It don't seem to be worth very much, so I'm guessing it might be shit. But I've not tried it again yet. Quite a few of these I haven't had time to try yet. Made by Atari, but I mean, it kind of looks like Gran Turismo, I suppose, and Forza and that kind of thing. I'm guessing it's Atari's version of it. But maybe it's crap as it's worth nothing. I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Have you played that one? Now this one wasn't from cash converters. I think I bought this one off eBay. This has got PlayStation 4 connections as well. Something on that sent me this way. But I'm talking about Flat Out 2. Now I've got the first one. I had that years ago on the Xbox, and it was, you know, pretty fun game. But then I've picked this up, so I think this is quite a bit rarer, and I think it's around a £15 game, something like that. But this is bloody good. It really shocked me. This is a real good game. So if you're into your arcade racing games, I thoroughly recommend this. This is a cracking game. Flat Out 2. Then we're back to cash converters now, and this one, OG Xbox, obviously, that one and this one. Men of Valor. Now, I've never seen this before, and it's kind of a first-person shooter from what I looked at on the box, and it was, you know, it was less than £1. I can't remember what, but it was like they was giving it away, and I bought it for the box, basically, just for a spare box. But I put it in just to try it and to see, you know, what it was like, really, because like I said, I'd never seen it, and it actually quite surprised me. I thought it was quite fun. I was on it about an hour in the end. So, like I say, I bought it for the box. I was going to throw the disc away, but I shall keep that now. It's quite good. Anybody played that one? Men of Valor. Made by Sierra. Now this next one was a CEX pickup, and again, I've never seen this before. I thought I'd got most of the races for the Xbox, but I found Power Drone. Power Drone. Like I said, I'd never seen it before, and the graphics on the back, well, that's shit. I mean, there's hardly any screenshots, so that don't bode well, does it? But I thought I've got to pick it up, being a racing game nut, and I thought, you know, it kind of looks like Wipeout, doesn't it, on the front? And I think it's about a £5 in CEX. Like I say, you don't see it very often. But anyway, I've tried it, and it is like Wipeout, and I'm a bit torn on it, really. It's kind of, it looks quite nice, and it moves, you know, it moves along at a hell of a pace. It's a real quick game, but that's kind of its downfall. It's kind of too fast for its own good, and it makes controlling it quite awkward. But it does look quite good. So I'm going to give it a bit more time. But anybody out there played Power Drone? Like I said, I'd never heard of it till last week. And then, in a similar vein, we've picked up Ford Street Racing. Now, I've never had one of these Ford games before. Wasn't expecting much, but this, again, quite surprised me. Pretty good. So, I'm now on the hunt for the other Ford racing games on the Xbox. I think there are 4 altogether. They've got released in PAL anyway. I think there are some American exclusive ones as well. But yeah, that real good fun arcade racer. And then at the same shop, I also picked up Ford Racing 2, and again, this also surprised me. It was quite good. So, like I say, there are 4 altogether. I've got to get Ford Racing 3 now, and there's a Ford Mustang Racing or something it's called. So, that was a surprise. And then the last Xbox pickup was it's an American release, because I've got a multi-region. Well, I've got a multi-region console that's supposed to be multi-region anyway. I've not tried it yet, so I wanted an American game to play to see if it worked. So I basically just looked for a cheap American game that was half decent. So I've got some interest in playing. And anyway, I stumbled across Batman Dark Tomorrow. Now, again, I'd never seen this game before, and funnily enough, I'd seen this in CX about 3 or 4 days before I found this American one on eBay. And I'd seen it in CX, and it's quite dear. It's about 20 quid, which tells you it's quite rare, I'm assuming. And I thought about picking it up on PAL, because like I said, I'd never seen it. But I left it and then found this, fortunately. But I've not tried it yet. But I've since read reviews, and it's supposed to be crap. So we shall see, hopefully, if it works. But has anybody out there played Batman Dark Tomorrow on the Xbox? And is it as bad as the reviews say? Please, I'd be interested to hear what anybody thinks. Let me know. Right, then we're on to PS1. Don't pick these up too often, because I've got most of the ones I'm looking for, really. And this wasn't from cash converters or eBay. This was from an actual road sort of proper shop trip. And some of you might recognise the blue bag. I'm sure there are a few of you recognise where they're from. Yes, do you know? Yes, you're right, it's Vintage Gamer. What an amazing shop, as you're all aware. And I don't go too often. I'm not sure why, really. I mean, they do sell imports, which I focus on, but not that many, so that's probably why I don't go quite so often as some people. But anyway, this is one I played back in the day. Originally had it on the 3DO. Really quite liked it. Then they bought an updated version out for the PS1, which was a lot nicer looking. And yeah, I did play it back in the day, I think, but I don't think I ever owned it. So I was chuffed to get back Starblade Alpha, and it's kind of an on-rails 3D shooter in space. Cracking game, made by Namco. You really can't go wrong with this. The graphics look lovely. You kind of think, I suppose it's kind of like Star Wars, really. You know, you're in space shooting other spacecraft, but it's all on rails. You know, you haven't got control of where you're flying. Cracking game, and it's quite expensive on PAL, but it even got the spine card with it. So I was chuffed to get that. It's much cheaper on Japanese than the PAL version, like I say. I think it's about 50 quid PAL. But yeah, thoroughly recommend Starblade if you haven't played that before. And then this was this was also Vintage Gamer, and I think this was a launch Japanese PlayStation game. I remember playing this, you know, right when I had the first Japanese PS1 on import, and it's been that long now I can't remember what it's like. Cyber Sled. From memory, it's kind of like Virtual on the Saturn, as in you're kind of a robot in an arena fighting other robots, but the robots are more like vehicles, like tanks, as I remember. But it's been that long, I just can't remember. But it's in lovely condition. And another Namco game, obviously. So I'm quite looking forward to trying that one again, seeing how that's aged 25 years later. I'm guessing not well. Right, now we're on to the Saturn. As you know, if you watch my previous video, I'm focusing on the Saturn at the moment and trying to build up or build back my collection that I've stupidly sold over the years. So we've got a couple of Saturn games here. This one I've never actually had Japanese before. I remember seeing it about PAL, but I don't think I ever played it. I don't think it's particularly good, but it's a racing game and I've never seen the Japanese one before, so I had to pick it up. And it's high octane. The PAL one's an EA game, you know, in the big plastic box. It's another Wipeout clone, but as I say, my memory tells me this is a bit crap. But it's got the spine card, so I am looking forward to trying it. I mean, it looks reasonable on the box, but maybe my memory's wrong. Something in the back of my mind tells me it's crap. But is that the right thinking? You know, have I got that right? Let me know. And you might tell me before I actually try it. And then the only other Saturn game I've picked up in this bundle of pickups is a classic, Virtua Fighter Kids. I think this is a cracking game. Obviously it's like Virtua Fighter with super deformed big head characters, very Japanese. I remember liking this actually better back in the day than the full-on Virtua Fighter. Cracking game, and I really think the box art's nice on this one. Really nice. So yeah, I did have this, you know, and sold it stupidly. So I'm chuffed to get that one back, Virtua Fighter Kids. Then this next one, that was Vintage Gamer as well. This next one is also a Vintage Gamer, and it's a PSP game. And I very rarely buy a PSP game because it's not something I bother with much or collect for. But it was so cheap I couldn't turn it down. I'm sure I've had this before, and I'm sure it's got a bad reputation. But it was Bubble Bobble Evolution, and complete. I mean, this is dirt cheap to buy, but I'm guessing that confirms it's crap. But for the money, I just had to pick it up because I couldn't remember what it was like. And I mean, I love Bubble Bobble, but I'm pretty sure this is crap. Again, let me know, please, if you can. Then another Vintage Gamer pickup, and again, this is one I've had in the past and got rid of and regretted. And it's Japanese PS2, and we've got Tekken Tag. This wasn't a launch game, but it came out fairly soon, I remember, when I had it. And it's in absolutely mint condition, this one. Nice artwork. But yeah, it's like brand new, this is. Tekken Tag. But you've got all the bonus games on this, haven't you? The bowling, I think, was on this one. So yeah, I was chuffed to get that back, and obviously it's quite cheap. Then the last pickup in this bundle, no, I've got one more, sorry, an added bonus. This I've got a Japanese Dreamcast now, and this is one for some reason I never had, which is strange for me because it was a Sega arcade conversion, which I normally had them straight away. But for whatever reason, I never had this one, and I don't think I've ever played it, and I still haven't because I haven't tried it yet. And again, this was in Vintage Gamer, and again, a good price as you'd expect, and I had to pick it up, and that's Fighting Vipers 2. Now, I think the first Fighting Vipers on the arcade and Saturn, you know, real good game. Like I say, I can't remember ever playing this, so absolutely chuffed when I saw it in there. Like I say, they don't have that many import games, but I do love to go and look from time to time to see what they've got in. And it's in lovely condition, and it comes with a lovely poster, this one, with all the moves on. I'll show you. There we go. God, imagine trying to learn all them. So, absolutely chuffed to get that, and really looking forward to trying it. Because that's right up my street. That's Fighting Vipers 2. And I think that's quite pricey on PAL, isn't it? I believe. So, delighted to get that. And then the last pickup, the added bonus. Now, as you know, if you followed my Wii U journey a few months ago on the channel, if you've been with me a while, you'll know I've completed the set, obviously. And there's just a few things I'm looking for now, like the Nintendo Selects and the box sets with the amiibos. And delighted to say I've picked up another one, and that's Yoshi's Woolly World. I mean, I love Yoshi, but this is a cracker. And it's in pretty good condition. There is a crease down this one side, slightly, just there. I don't know if you can see it. So, absolutely delighted to get that. So that's another one off the list. I think I now need 4 of these. So there we go. Yoshi's Woolly World. So, there we go. It's already run into 20 minutes. I'm sorry it's dragged on a bit. And like I say, I've split it into 2. And so the rest will be in the next video. Thanks, crazy gamers. It's time to go. And given the choice, I choose retro.